Okay, child's pose is a great way to start off if you want to stretch out the tops of the legs, the low back gets a nice opening. Come on down. Finding breath here, we'll just start out with that. Finding big inhales, big exhales. And that big expansion in the rib cage and the belly, followed by that big compression. So everything pressing inward, squeezing the air out. Expanding outward, inhale. Compressing inward, exhale. And hopefully this posture softens up a little bit over time. You might notice that the low back will tend to let go a little bit as it lengthens quite gently the tops of the legs, hopefully also. And let's just stay here for a while, just lengthening the breath out, drawing it out, noticing how it feels. And if you want to use your imagination here a little bit, I think it's fun to imagine breathing into and out of the places that you feel the most here, like your hip creases. And with each exhale, allow a little bit of tension to kind of drain out of your body. Let it just melt down toward the floor. As you breathe here, just allowing your body to soften downward. Notice if you are maybe unconsciously, maybe your body is just trying to help you out a little bit. Maybe you're resisting gravity a little bit, maybe kind of protecting yourself from sinking fully. See if you can allow complete release here. Let the hips sink down, let the chest sink down, let the head come down. Let's start to walk the hands forward. Get a little bit more open in the upper body. So as the hands come forward, we want to think of gripping the mat. So strong tiger claw hands. Grip. And then make sure you still have some space around your ears as you lift your elbows. So we want to make sure the shoulder blades stay away from the ears as the elbows come up. So you're kind of peeling open your armpits and your chest here. Maybe walking the fingers a little bit further out. Breathe deeply into your big chest. And then let's walk the hands over to the left. Take a little side stretch into that right side. So you can take the hands as far out as you want. If you're right-handed, your right side will probably be a little more tense and locked up than the other. So maybe you spend some extra breath just opening up the side body here. And then I like to add in this little twist while we're here. So this funky twist is super simple. You just pick up your head, reach your right arm under your left, like you're reaching out perpendicular to the mat or your space, and then drop your right shoulder and your right ear to the floor, looking to the left. So you can stay here, or you can reach up the left and kind of deepen the twist by dropping that left arm across your back. See if you can grab your right thigh and kind of hold it. Big chest here. Think of peeling open your huge chest. Breathe. Let's switch sides. So coming back through center with your long, active arms and your long neck especially. Walk the hands out to the right. Take a moment here, breathing into the left side body. Maybe add that funky twist here so you can pick your head up. Thread the left arm under your right until the left shoulder and the left ear just naturally want to come down. And we want to think of keeping a long spine here just as much as you can. Keep the tailbone moving away from the top of your head. And maybe deepen the twist. Right arm can reach up. Already the chest is spreading open a little more. And maybe that right arm drops across your back. You can grab your left thigh, hold on, and peel your chest open even more. And of course, breathe. Let's bring it back into center. Come on up. From here, just walk your hands forward until your hips are over your knees. And we'll take a little puppy pose, okay? And I want to take the hands wide for this puppy pose, so maybe wider than your mat. Come up on your fingertips and kind of move your chest side to side. So you're kind of moving into your armpits and your chest. And make sure to move your belly button in towards your spine while you do this so that the extension happens in your upper back. And maybe kind of roll side to side. One armpit gets lower than the other. We're just kind of looking for some extra space here. And then once you feel a little bit more settled in here, keep the belly button up and allow your heart to drop toward the floor. Maybe look at your hands. Who knows? Take some breath here. Big chest in your puppy pose. And then we'll let this go. You can drop your elbows and walk them back in toward your shoulders. And then we'll come back to hands and knees. So let's do some cat-cows just to get a little more mobility in the spine. Remember to grip the mat with your strong hands. Pull your heart forward on the inhale, so stretching open your front body as you lift the belly button in. And exhale, push the floor away as you stretch open the whole backside. Let's take a few more. Remember to make it not just front to back, but a little bit side to side. So I like to think of the spine being like a jump rope here and just jump roping it all the way around. Make sure you go both directions a few times. All right, and bring it back to a flat back. Let's get that right leg out behind and tuck the right toes. Push back through the heel a little bit. Get a nice calf stretch. Should feel good. Nice calf stretch. And then we'll drop the right heel to the floor. Spin that left lower leg out to the left and reach up with the right hand for a supported side plank. And take a little time here fidgeting yourself into place. We want to drop the outer edge of that right foot. It should feel nice in the ankle, and make sure the elbow of that bottom arm, the left arm, is bent. So let's open up the shoulder, activating the shoulder by plugging it in to your body. So like you're trying to plug the whole entire arm in. I want you to activate all the tissue in and around that joint and circle it out. Okay, Okay, make sure even your fingers are spread, even the hand is active. Let's rewind it. Okay, the hand reaches up, pause. Let's get the leg up and open up the hip. So you can point the toe for now and we'll circle it out. You can make big circles, tiny circles, just move the head. I'd say keep it internally rotating for now. So all your right toes should point forward and slightly down. And then let's reverse it. Push through the heel this time. Reverse, circle, hip. And then let's relax the right foot back on the floor. Plant the outer edge of the right foot and reach the right hand as far as you can get it from that right foot. Let's take a few breaths here. So really open up the right side. And the more you pull your belly button into your spine, the more you may even cultivate a little tiny back extension here, lifting your heart toward the front of the mat. Remember to breathe. All right, we're coming out of this. So spin yourself back down to hands and knees, and we'll do the other side. Let's get the left leg out behind, tuck the toes, and push through the heel. Oh, calf stretch. You can even, if you want a little bit more, you can push so much that you lift up that right knee. Okay, a little more weight back into that calf. And then if you had the right knee up, put it down. We'll drop that left heel, spin the right lower leg out to the right. Side plank with the left arm up, supported side plank. I'll spin around to face you. Make sure the bottom elbow is bent. We're pressing into the outer edge of the left foot, and that should feel nice in your ankle. So let's circle out the left shoulder, activate the arm to the fingertips, and plug it into the shoulder socket. You're going to feel even your chest and your rib cage turn on. And let's circle it out. Okay, you want to feel your rib cage get softer and bigger while you're doing this. And rewind it. Reaching up with your left hand, pause. Let's get into the left hip. So left leg comes up. Let's internally rotate the hip for now and point the toe and circle it out. Kind of warming up that hip. Okay, all the muscles in and around it. Get a little more soft and open. Let's reverse, push through the heel. Continue to internally rotate. Okay, allow the left foot to come back to the floor. Press down the outer edge and reach the left hand extremely far away from the left foot. So really take advantage of this side stretch here. Keep your belly button wrapping in and maybe peel open your left armpit to the ceiling to cultivate a little tiny back bend here. Remember, you have a long neck. As you're ready, let's bring it back down to hands and knees. Come on down. Hands and knees. If you tuck your toes here, we can bring it up and back to a down dog. Okay, not a super serious down dog. We're not super warm, so we can bend the knees very generously and kind of walk it out. So this is just a great opportunity for us to notice how the backs of the legs are feeling and to gently open them up. This is also a great time to shake your head out. Yes. And no. And roll. the shoulder blades around on the back. So get some nice mobility in the shoulder blades. And make sure you roll in the other way too. Okay, as you're ready, walk your hands back to your feet. We'll take the feet kind of wide. And bending knees, let's just hang for a little while. So you might kind of sway. Again, breathing extra space into the hamstrings and the calves, glutes, whole back body. Allow your lower back to really hang here. From here, your palms are down, maybe bending your knees to make that happen. And we'll walk it forward to hands and knees again. Let's get the right foot forward and plant it outside the right hand. And we'll start to rock the hips forward and back a little bit. So I want to give you a gentle option, just keeping that right foot and the left knee on the floor. If you want a little bit more, as you pull your hips back, flex the right toes and point them back at your nose, okay? I'll give you a little bit more in the calf and the hamstring. If you want even more, tuck the left toes, the back toes, lift the left knee, make the left leg straight and strong like a tree trunk. And then see how much extra space you have to pull that right hip back. Open up that left hammy. Okay, we're dropping back into the lunge. So put the right foot back on the floor. Put the left knee on the floor if it came up. And use your right knee to press it up to a low lunge. So if we want to stretch the legs, we need to warm them up at least a little bit first. So here we go. Inhaling here, reach your hands up. Find a big, spacious front body in your low lunge. Remember, you're still trying to squeeze your legs together, at least a little bit of engagement between your thighs, okay? With your exhale, try to pull your right heel toward the back of the mat. That's going to pull you more deeply into this lunge. Maybe you add cactus arms here, lifting your chest. Let's come back where we were. Inhaling back out of your lunge. Okay, reaching up. Exhaling, pull yourself into the lunge. Drop those elbows as you lift your chest. Again, inhale, back out. Exhale, pull it in. One more, just like that. Back out on the inhale. Pull in on the exhale, hold and breathe. So we're still trying to squeeze the knees toward each other, at least a little bit of activity. The right heel is pulling back. The heart is lifting. Nice breath. All right, one more big breath in here. And let's drop the hands down in front and send it back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes, another down dog here. And let's make this another kind of dynamic down dog. So walk it out a little bit. Notice how the backs of the legs feel. Feel free to kind of sway and waggle your hips side to side. Make it kind of silly. And then again, walk your hands back to your feet and hang. You might have your feet a little closer, especially if your legs feel a little warmer. And you may grab your elbows and kind of swing. As you're ready, hands back to the floor, walking it back to hands and knees. Let's get the left foot forward by the left hand. Rocking hips forward and back. We might take the gentle flavor. Okay, option A, all hands and the left foot and the right knee on the floor. Maybe as you pull the hips back, you flex the left ankle and point the toes at your nose. Maybe we tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, and extend that right leg as we move. So either way, attempt to keep your spine long, even though it's challenging. Okay, talking to that left hamstring here. Sink back down into that lunge. And we'll go from here. So the back knee is now down again. We can use the left leg to press up. So remember, in your lunge, your two knees are trying to squeeze toward each other. Okay, it doesn't have to be all of your strength, but put a little bit of engagement there. Keep that. And inhaling, lift your heart for your low lunge. Exhaling, pull yourself more deeply into the lunge by sending your left heel back. Maybe cactus your arms to get your heart a little higher. Let's do that again. Inhale back out of it. Woo. Exhale, pull into it. Okay, you feel that right hip flexor and that left hamstring. Again, inhale back out. Exhale, pull yourself deeper. Let's do that one more time and hold it. So inhale to back out. Exhale, pull yourself in. Hold and breathe. Okay, try to squeeze the knees together. Try to pull that left heel back. Belly button in, lift your heart. Maybe one more breath. And let's let it go. All hands down inside that front foot. Back to down dog. Again, walk out your dog. See how you feel. And again, walk your hands back to your feet. This time, you might have your knees a little bit more extended, but do let your heart hang way down by your knees, okay? If your heart is up here by your hips, you're gonna wanna support your upper body, okay? We don't want it to just hang. So try to bend the knees enough that it does hang. And maybe here, getting a little stretch in the fronts of your shoulders, you wanna join your hands behind your back and move them away from your head. Nice breath here into your interior deltoids, okay, the fronts of your shoulders. And release your hands. Go ahead and walk it back to hands and knees. Okay, from here, let's get the right foot forward again. Okay, this time we're a little bit warmer, so maybe we scoot the left knee back a little bit. Okay, and we'll twist it. So here, reaching that right hand up, spread open your big chest. Think of looking up at the right hand. Should feel great in your low back. Okay, exhaling, reach the right hand very far under your left arm. You might even bend the left arm to reach further and drop the hips nice and low. Let's do that again. So inhale, reach it up. Big chest. Exhale, reach it under. Again, big breath in. And big exhale. This time, let's reach up and hold. So reach it up, hold and breathe. If you're feeling pretty good here, you can tuck the left toes and strengthen that left knee up away from the floor. So the left leg is like a tree trunk. It's super strong. Your quad is squeezing in towards your femur, and you're trying to squeeze your knees together here. So put that inner thigh engagement. Maybe drop the hips a little lower. One more big breath here. And let's drop the back knee. Okay, here, I want to give you a little quad stretch. So if you bend that back knee, so that's the left knee, pull the heel in towards your glute and let it go. Let's do a little hamstring curl. Again, pull the heel in towards your glute and let it go. One more time, pull it in, hold. Maybe the right hand can grab that left foot and you can pull the heel in towards your glute. Now check this out. As you pull the heel in towards your glute, I also want you to kick the foot away so you're resisting your own strength. And could you peel your chest open to the ceiling here, kind of looking up, making a big heart, and get a little heart opening out of this. Breathe. Maybe one more big breath here. And let that go. We're dropping that back foot. We're dropping the right hand. And let's really sink into this now. So we're a little bit warm. We can come down to elbows if we want to. We can stay up on our hands. We can even put a block under the elbows here. That would be great. And let's just take a moment here. Let your head hang. Maybe close your eyes. Maybe even point your right toes out to the right and let the knee waggle out in that direction. From here, try this. Try walking your hands or your elbows, if you're on your elbows, out to the left. Okay, so away from your right knee. But at the same time, your right knee is moving still over to the right. So your right knee does not follow you, but rather it's still moving away from you. So notice how that feels in your inner right hip. And then as you're ready, walk your hands or your elbows back into center. And if you were down on your elbows, come back on your hands here. Come back up. We're pulling the hips back now. So really getting into that right hamstring. So here we are. If you need to use your fingertips on the floor under your shoulders, that's not a problem. Try to make your longest spine. Even if you want to use your blocks under your shoulders, that's great. But put a super strong flex in your right foot, super strong, and dig the right heel into the ground as you super actively pull the right hip back. So the right hip is definitely moving back. We may or may not put a big bend in the right knee or a little bend just to kind of make the hamstring lengthening more gentle. But let's play around here. So if you have some extra space, you can maybe move the left knee back a little bit. Okay, and just like we did before when we were down in that lunge, let's walk the hands over to the left, okay, way off the left side of your mat. And you're gonna point your right toes to the left, dropping to that right arch, okay? And we're gonna kind of move the hips back and forth. So we're getting into your right inner thigh. Okay, all that tissue from your knee up to your hips. Hopefully it feels good. Never feels bad. Rock the hips forward and back. Gentle lengthening for your right inner thigh. Now let's walk our hands back through center. Point the right toes up at the ceiling, and let's keep going, taking our hands over to the right side of the right leg. So over to the other side. And now the right toes are going to point over to the right. So now we're on the outer edge of the right leg. You're feeling your glute, maybe your IT band, your outer hip. Breathe. If you have been running or cycling, this is going to be a little bit intense. The more you pull back on that hip, the more you can open up in that IT band. Okay, let's walk hands back to center. And from here, if you took the back knee back, you might scooch it forward a little bit. So you can come back to hands and knees. Let's go back to a cat-cow. See how, not a cat-cow, a down dog. Let's see how a down dog feels now. Okay, walk it out. Hopefully noticing a difference in the back of your right leg. I sure notice a difference in mine. And then again, walk your hands back to your feet and fold. This time, maybe you hold onto your calves and hug your legs. Feel free to bend or extend your knees as much as feels appropriate for your hamstrings. And then we'll get the hands back on the floor, back to hands and knees. Let's do the other side. So we'll get the left foot forward by the left hand. Maybe walk the right knee back a little bit. We're quite warm. And we'll get the left hand up. Big breath in. Super big open chest here. Spiral open. As you exhale, reach under your right arm. We're bending that right elbow and reaching extra far. Inhale to bring it up. Exhale, twist, and bring it down. Again, big breath in. And big exhale. Let's reach it up and hold right here. Okay, maybe staying right here with the right knee on the ground, maybe tucking the right toes and strengthening the right knee up off the floor. So we really want that right leg strong and long. It's not floppy and soft. Try to squeeze the knees together. Okay, maybe sink the hips a little lower. Breathe deeply. The elbows are soft. One more big breath. And we're bringing that left hand down. Let's bring the back knee down as well. Okay, let's get that little quad stretch here. So we're bending that right knee. Pull the heel in towards your glute. And then lengthen it again. Little hamstring curl. Again, pull the heel in. And lengthen it. One more time. Pull the heel in. Hold. Maybe the left hand grabs that right ankle. Okay, if you've got your ankle, awesome. If you don't, just keep reaching, okay? That's good work. If you got the ankle, I want you to pull the ankle back. Take your left shoulder with it, okay? Feel your chest peeling up into the ceiling. So get a little bit of a heart opening here. Take some breath. As you're ready, let that go. All hands down in front. We're sinking down into this lunge and just enjoying it for a little while. So maybe elbows come down. Remember to engage your legs at least a little bit. So you may be relaxing and letting your head hang. Keep doing that, but a little tiny bit of activity between your knees. Just a little bit will be perfect. Maybe let the left toes and the knee kind of waggle out to the left. And then let's try this. Try walking your hands or your elbows out to the right, way out there. At the same time, move your left knee away from you still. Notice how that feels. And then we'll walk back in towards center. Back up on your hands if you are down on your elbows. Let's pull the hips back. So really talking to this left hamstring now. So maybe use your fingertips. Get that spine nice and long. It's really tempting to curl the spine. It's kind of challenging to keep it long. So just do your best. Okay, and you're grounding into that left heel as you super flex the left ankle, like the toes are trying to touch your own shin, and you're pulling back on the left hip. So you'll feel the hamstring, okay, big time. Let's play around a little bit with what direction we can take this stretch in. So if you walk your hands out to the right, just like we did before in our lunge, okay, walk your hands out to the right. Put the inner edge of the left foot on the floor and pull back. So you're still pulling back on that left hip, but you're going to rock your hips forward and back and open up that left inner thigh. Just kind of feel it out. Let's bring this back through center. So we're pointing the left toes up at the ceiling, walking the hands through center. Hands are now walking to the other side of the left leg. The left outer edge of the foot is dropping to the mat, and we're still pulling back on the hip. So breathe here. Okay, feel the IT band, the outer hip. It should feel good, but it might also feel really intense. So get your big breath ready. Let's bring it back to center, okay? Let's walk the hands back to center. And we'll get the right foot or left foot back on the floor. Maybe we need to walk the right knee forward if we took it back. And we can come back to hands and knees. Let's do another down dog, okay? Right, notice the backs of the legs. The back of the left leg should be feeling really different now, okay? Maybe notice that the heels come more readily toward the floor. Okay, from here, go ahead and drop to your knees. Sit your hips out to one side and we'll come to a seat. So we'll start to really get into outer hip here. Okay. And here's where we'll start. We'll start just by putting feet together. And you can take your feet close to you or far away from you. It's really whatever feels better. But just be aware that if you take the feet really close, it could be a lot of pressure on your knees. So if you have any kind of knee injury, maybe just take the feet further away. All right? So your feet are together. You can drop your fingertips down beside you, or you can lift your arms up. I like to lift my arms just to work my shoulders a little bit more. So you decide. And you're going to press your feet together. Okay, so keep breathing and press your feet together. And breathe more and press your feet together. Nice little challenge here. Sometimes it feels like you're not even really doing anything, but keep doing it. Feet pressed together, keep breathing. 3 more breaths. Press. 2 more breaths. Press them even more for this last breath. All right, go ahead and let that go. Pull your right foot in closer to you, okay? And your left foot a little further away so that your feet are lined up. Your left foot is directly in front of your right, okay? And you can have your fingers down by your feet, in front of your feet. We're gonna have our longest spine here. And we're just going to move the heart past the toes. So it may not actually go past your toes, but you're trying to move your heart past where your toes are. So take several breaths here. We have lots of time. There's no rush at all. We want our longest spine with each inhale. And we want to send the heart further forward with each exhale. Maybe the hands walk out further away from you. Maybe the elbows even come down. And maybe today or maybe another day, your head drops and you can rest your head on one of your feet. But remember to keep your neck long, please. Your spine is long and your heart is still moving forward. And take your time walking yourself back up out of this. And we'll just keep going. We'll take this left leg on a little bit of a journey. So pick up your left leg by the ankle and set the left ankle on your right knee. And at this point, you want to grab your right foot and slide it forward so that it's under your left knee. So here we are in a double pigeon or stacked logs pose. Okay, the two logs that are stacked are indeed your lower legs. So you can lean back if you need to kind of back out, because sometimes it can be really intense. But once you settle in, make sure both hips are super grounded. Your long spine rises up, okay? And we're just gonna breathe here. We have plenty of time. And there's nowhere that we're really trying to get here. But I'll give you some things to think about while you're here. For one thing, keep your feet really flexed. Don't let the ankles get soft and floppy. Keep them strong. And attempt to squeeze the legs toward each other. So you're not pushing them with your hands. You're only using your leg strength to push them toward each other. Breathe. Think about when you're in a standing posture and I ask you to pull your knees together. It's the same thing. Maybe the fingers walk forward. And if you do that, you can even push the floor down with your fingers and ground your hips more firmly, which might feel really nice in your low back. Long spine inhales. Heart moves forward, exhales. Take a few more breaths here. You might continue the fingers walking forward. The elbows might come down to the floor, but we don't want to sacrifice any length in the spine or the neck. So keep that going, that long spine, long neck. Maybe let your head hang, but keep the shoulders away from your ears. So if you had your hands in front of your legs, walk them back up by your hips and we'll continue the journey of the left leg. So again, pick up your left ankle and move it even further to the right. So we want to think of getting our knees very close together. So the way that I like to do this is I like to pull the feet in close to the hips. So just grab your feet, pull them close to your hips. And if you take your hands forward and pick up your hips, you can put your knees really close together and then sit down between your feet. So that's the best way that I've found to get in. You might have a different way. But once you're down, your knees are close together. Your hips are equally heavy. Notice the left hip tends to want to peel up. Put it down. You can just sit up tall and breathe. You can back out by leaning back. It's a lot more gentle if you just lean back. Okay. If you feel like you want to deepen it, especially after a few breaths, it kind of softens up a little bit. You can by moving your feet away from your hips. However, I would not move them past your knees. So when you look at your feet, they're either level with your knees or behind them. They're not in front of them. Breathe here. Maybe the fingertips walk a little bit forward. Okay, come back to the center of this posture if you leaned forward. Let's turn it into a twist. So if you take your right hand to that left knee, you can use it as kind of a handle. Left finger is behind you. Remember to sit up tall. And we're just going to look over the left shoulder and breathe. If you're feeling pretty good here, you want a little more, you can walk your hands over to the left. Okay, reach that right hand as far away from you as you can get it. Big breath into the back body here. And then we'll walk our hands back to center. From here, if you want to lean back on your hands, you can untangle your legs, which are probably a little bit noodly right now, and you can just windshield wiper them out. See how the hips feel. Should be feeling pretty good after that. And let's just switch sides. So we've got our feet together in that butterfly shape, but we'll offset them. So we'll take the left foot closer and the right foot further away. So the left toes are tickling your right heel. Same as we did before. So fingers can be out front, in front of your feet. And we'll just lengthen that spine with each inhale. Heart moves to go past the toes on the exhale. It might not go past the toes, but it wants to. Maybe come down to your elbows. Maybe your head just naturally wants to fall. But if you do drop your head, keep the spine long. So it's a bit of a challenge to lengthen that spine here. Let this go and walk yourself back up. And now we're taking the right leg on a little bit of a journey. So pick up the right ankle, just grab it, pick it up, and stack it on top of your left knee. Okay, remember to keep your feet flexed. Let's move the left foot forward so it's under the right knee. And we need to be a little bit picky with this one. This is one posture where we kind of want to be a little bit picky. So keep your feet flexed. Keep your two lower legs stacked so that you can hardly see the bottom one at all. Lean back if you need to back out. Lean forward if you want to lean into it. And since we're maybe a little bit more warm, since this is our second side, we might take the fingers forward and press the hips back. Remember to attempt to draw the knees toward each other. Maybe down to your elbows. But keep that long spine, please. Take your time coming back up out of your double pigeon. And we'll transition this to a Gomukhasana or cow face pose. So again, pick up your right ankle, move it even further to the left. And then I'd say put it by your hips for now. Scoot both feet close to your hips. And then hands in front. You can sit up, put your knees close together, and then sit down between your feet. Okay? Make sure that right hip is down. Notice how it kind of wants to be up. Just put a little extra weight in it. And then lean back if you need to back out. Lean forward if you want to get into it. Also, you can play around with walking the feet out away from your hips. Maybe even level with your knees. Breathe here. Maybe close your eyes. Notice where you feel this the most. Notice where you can relax a little bit more. Maybe your jaw. How's your jaw? We can turn this into a twist. Okay, coming back upright, back at the center of this posture. We can take left hand to the right knee, right fingers behind. Long spine inhale. Okay, big twist on your exhales. Hang out here or deepen the twist by walking your hands or just your fingertips further out to the right. We want to reach the left fingers as far as they'll go. Breathe into that back body. And as you're ready, bring it all back into center. Come on back. You can take your hands behind you again and just lean back, kick out your legs. Oh, they're super noodly. And take some windshield wipers here, just see how they feel. Okay, from here, sit on your fingertips. So just your fingertips are on the underneath your glutes, your palms are down, and you can drop back to your elbows here. And we want to keep at least a little bend in your knees, okay, just so your toes are on the floor, but it doesn't have to be any big bend, just toes down. And use your shoulder blades to scoop up your big heart. Scoop, 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 scoop it up. Draw them down your back and then feel your head pointing at the back of the mat. So the top of your head wants to point at the back of the mat. Don't let it point all the way down. Have it point back, back, back. Keep breathing here. Shoulder blades scoop under a little bit more. The back of the neck stays long and soft instead of squinched up. Okay, as you're ready, pull your chin back into your chest. We'll move the elbows out to the side. You come all the way down. Okay, once you land, find a nice resting posture. It could be Shavasana, long arms and legs, or anything else. Let your breath slow down. Effortless breath through your nose. Soft eyes. Soft jaw. Soft face. Hands and feet are soft. Front of the body, soft. Back of the body, soft. Just take a little time to let your body soak up the magic of your practice. Feel your belly and your chest softly rising and falling. This is a great opportunity to experience the rare luxury of being present in this moment with yourself, experiencing the things that are happening right now.